This interview with Marta Spirk is so special and an incredible milestone for me. Marta was my first long term client. She believed in me when I struggled with low self confidence, low self esteem. She was the one to give me that boost of confidence that I needed. She was the proof that I can work with clients and I can do a great job when it comes to podcast pitching. We developed an amazing relationship over the years. I am part of one of her collaborative books. We did a workshop together. I interviewed her on my Instagram. I even became one of her clients. She supported my growth, and I'm so grateful for that. And this is why I wanted her to be my first guest. Marta Spirk is a professional singer, TEDx speaker, best selling author, and speaking coach, and she helps established business owners transform their message into a powerful signature talk. Join us as we talk about crafting a signature talk, the world of entrepreneurship as a mom. She reveals how being uniquely yourself is your greatest asset and also what it really means to own the spotlight. Whether you feel invisible or scared to step out, this episode will give you practical steps and real encouragement to build your voice and confidence in your business. What if the very thing you think is holding you back is actually the secret to your next big step? Let's dive in. Hi, Marta. I am so excited to record this interview with you. Before we start, I would like for us to take a moment to express gratitude for something that happened today, this week. For me, it's this interview because we know each other for so many years. And finally, we are here. We are doing this. I'm interviewing you, which to me feels so surreal because I thought that I will always be that person who is going to work behind the scenes. But today, I am the podcast host interviewing amazing guests. So I'm very grateful and honored that you accepted my invite and thank you for being here.
Yes, absolutely. I think you, Nina, you're one of the best examples of caterpillar to butterfly stories. Your transformation through the years has been amazing. So congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And what would be something that you are grateful for today?
Well, I found out a couple days ago that I was nominated for two different awards. So I'm excited because I applied for a few this year. I've been seeing, people getting awards throughout the years, and I decided, why not me? That's one of my mottos, "Why not me?" So, it was fun to be nominated for 2, and once I announced, lots of people were like, "Congratulations, I voted for you." So I'm very hopeful and excited.
Congratulations. Did you post the links somewhere?
I did. I can send it to you later too.
Oh, yes, please do, because obviously I'm going to vote for you. I want to support you. And I want to ask you, because you are a mom of triplets, and I know that you have a busy, very busy life. Do you think that being a triplet mom influenced your approach to entrepreneurship and owning a voice in business?
Yes, I definitely think that well, having triplets really was the inspiration, as crazy as it sounds, for me to start my business, and looking back, I understand more now than I did at the time. It was just out of, like, a need of, I need to connect with people, and I need to kind of put myself in contact with adults because it was just an overwhelming reality of being surrounded by babies all day, every day. And it was something that I could control, you know? There was so much that I couldn't control with having three at the same time, and then raising them and, being with them by myself for the majority of the day while my husband was at work. And then owning my business and building something felt like something that I could control. But then the other piece was, I always, talk about women seeing themselves as unique and leveraging their uniqueness in everything that they do. And I have the greatest example of all with three babies being born at the same time, being raised by the same people at the same time, and they're so different, which means we are all so different, right? And there's something unique about us to share. And honestly, I mean, having kids is, I always say, is a huge mirror, right? They will call you out on your stuff, and it's not always comfortable, and even when you see certain behaviors in them that you don't like, you know where it's coming from, most likely, right? They are copying you. You are the role model. So, it's been a huge personal growth journey, and a lot of it has to do with what they teach me and what they show me for sure.
Yes, and I remember when I joined one of your programs and you told me that I need to be more of myself because we are so different. I mean, you were used to being on stage. For me, I was so shy and I thought that I will never be on any stage, whether virtual or in person. And I still remember your voice telling me you need to be more of yourself. And I could somehow understand this. But on the other hand, in my mind, it was, but you don't understand. For me, this is a problem. I have this problem. How do I fix this? And then over the years, I realized that actually, maybe I don't need to fix this because, as any quality or any flaws that we have, there is a good part and there is a bad part, right? And the fact that I'm shy or I'm timid or introverted, this also means that I maybe pay more attention to people. I may be listening to them more and I maybe choose my words carefully. But on the other hand, I also admire you for being so bold and so direct and for trying every new idea. I mean, maybe not every new, but trying your ideas. And I want you to share a little bit because you started a business and now you moved from coaching to performing, which is so incredible. So tell us a little bit about this journey.
Yeah, of course. Well, I think my journey really is a reflection of what I have been telling people to do. I have been, trying to practice what I preach, is being more of who I am, and bringing the music in has been like the pivotal moment, I think, is understanding that I could bring this in. And this is what I really think having a business allows you to do. Anyone in any capacity can, throughout the years, learn to be more who they are and their authentic self, whatever that means, right? But I think owning a business gives you the opportunity because you can be creative, right? It's not somebody else telling you what to do, it's you making these decisions, right? So you have the freedom, which is also challenging because you have the freedom. So what do I do next, right? But to your point, you hear, people saying just be more of yourself. Okay, what does that mean? And I love that you had this a breakthrough and realization that who you are, there are amazing strengths to it. And I really believe our strengths are our weaknesses and vice versa if we don't know how to leverage them. But it is so true. Somebody that is a bit more introverted is probably more observant because they take the time, they're more analytical, which is good. We need those people, right? I always say, we need architects and we need engineers. I'm not those people. I'm probably the person that is going to try something out before I test everything and look at the details. But we also need the people that are going to be willing to go and take risks, right? So that's why I'm so passionate about personalities and the variety of who we are, because we all complement each other in some capacity. So for me, the whole music thing came about because I used to keep it separate. And I think a lot of us compartmentalize, and they're like, this is my hobby and this is the business over here. But then I started realizing that what made me different was the things that I liked. Bringing those things into the business would actually help me stand out compared to other people that did something similar. And that's what I say. And I tell people all the time, you go to a speaking event or a networking event, chances are you will find at least a handful of people that do something very similar to what you do. Now, why would somebody hire you versus them? You are the reason why, because especially as a solopreneur, right? They would resonate with your personality, or with just your energy and the way you carry yourself. And that's all we have going for us, you know? And so for me, in building the business and realizing, I can do these photo shoots. I can, go on shows. I can do all these kinds of things like podcasting. Then I realized I could also sing because I was already singing, but separate, right? I was doing a lot of national anthem stuff. That's really how everything got started for me. And then I started thinking, I'm not just the national anthem, I can sing other songs. So I released my own music, but it was still kind of separate. It took me a while to figure out how to merge them, and a lot of it was me trying to force a little bit, like, this is how it's going to be, and then seeing that it didn't really go very far. And then I went on to say, I'm going to start singing and speaking. That's what I'm going to do. But now I've reached a point that it made more sense for me. It makes more sense to do cover songs, even, because people already know them. So, something that I did recently that really landed with people is that I started talking about taking risks. And I used the analogy because, me moving from Brazil to America, I used the analogy of the song New York, New York. If I can make it there, I can make it anywhere. We all have that moment of this sounds so impossible, but if I could do this, I can do anything, you know? And then I sing the song at the end, and people love it and they connect with it and they leave energized because it's a very well-known song and it's a very upbeat song, and I get to empower them in a different capacity than just using words. So that's the evolution.
So beautiful. And I know that you've been in front of thousands and thousands of people. What do you think owning the spotlight means to you? And why is this important for other women entrepreneurs, your clients?
Yeah, I think owning the spotlight is owning who you are, is being confident in who you are and believing in yourself. In order to really own the spotlight, you need to be the one that believes in yourself first. Because there's always going to be that little voice saying you suck, somebody out there hates you, they're going to be criticizing you. I mean, I just did a couple speaking engagements over the weekend and somebody came up to me and said the presentation was great, but there was a typo on your slide. And I was like, okay, maybe there was. And then come to find out it wasn't a typo. But they thought it was, but it wasn't. So when you are in the spotlight, you are subject to criticism, and that can be very, very daunting. But when you learn to just, get curious and just be open and being like, that is your opinion, that means nothing about me. Because at the end of the day, that's what it is. We make things mean things. And when they mean something negative, that can bring you down. So why not choose to make things mean, oh, they wanted to be helpful? you know? And they actually weren't because I wasn't wrong, but it's all good, you know? And the reason why I think this is important, I've been saying this a lot in interviews when I'm talking about speaking, especially. And people ask me, why do you think it's so important to speak? And there are several reasons. But number one, because it's difficult, because it's scary. That's why we need to do it. you know, we grow.
Absolutely. Yes, it's so weird when people feel the need to tell you things and sometimes they are not even true. But I feel those people need to draw your attention to them somehow. And as you said, this isn't about you, it's about them. But it takes a long time for us to realize yes, this isn't about myself. Like, my job is to come here to deliver my message for the people who want to hear this message. If there are people who only want to point you the errors that you are making, those are not my people. But it takes a little bit of time to really understand that. And for these women entrepreneur who like me are afraid of being visible, what do you recommend them to take as a first step?
I would say think about the next thing that scares you but is not a huge mountain, right? So I always talk about what is your next level of discomfort, and that means different things for different people, right? Even somebody that has been on the spotlight, think big celebrities, there's probably something that still scares them versus something that they do all the time, right? So the same is for you. So I work with people that have never spoken before. And so the first thing that they need to do is make a live video on social media, right? But some have already been doing that. So what's the next thing? Be a guest on a podcast. For others, they've been doing this for a long time. They don't feel uncomfortable. They don't get sweaty armpits when they're doing interviews anymore. And I'll even say, I've done so many interviews and I'm super comfortable with you. So this is easy. But let's imagine, I don't know, Oprah was interviewing me. That's different, even if it's an interview, right? So that's what is the next level of discomfort for you. And if you don't know that, that's when working with a coach can help you because I can prompt you and we can think of something. What is the next thing that is going to make you a little bit uncomfortable? Like maybe host your own event and invite people over, right? Send that message to that person that you've been wanting to collaborate with and it's, scared you. Things like that.
Oh, it's yeah, definitely. It's scary to speak on stages. It's scary to ask people to invite them to be on your stage. But yes, as you said, if you don't do this uncomfortable things on a regular basis, because I remember that I used to do things here and there, but they didn't make a big impact. So, could you walk us through how someone who's a busy mom with kids, how can she build her signature talk?
Yes. So I like to really think about for anybody that has taken composition classes, an argumentative essay. It's pretty much like that. You have to have an introduction. You have to have a thesis, meaning what is the main point of this? Where am I taking these people? What am I going to be showing them? And have some key points, some key lessons that you're going to be teaching. I like 3 because it's a good number to have, and then closing out with a conclusion. And if possible, use stories because you can be theoretical and teach specific steps to people. But at the end of the day, it's a lot easier to connect when you have real life examples. And this is a good opportunity to bring in client examples. So when you're teaching, let's say you need to drink more water as one of your topics, for example, you can share a story. I had a client, Lauren, who felt really tired all the time. And then we realized it's because she wasn't drinking a lot of water. This helps people be like, "Oh my gosh, it's me. I'm tired all the time." Right? So they see the value in what you're saying. And if possible, starting the introduction with your own story. Why do you do what you do? What makes you qualified to be talking about this? Start with that. Instead of having a slide that lists all your accolades and the different degrees that you have, share a story. Because in the story, then you can say, and I've been working with this for 20 years, instead of having the bullet points. Stories make you a lot more memorable, and it's easier for people to connect with you on a personal level too.
And how do you come up with a signature story? Thinking, I mean, I all used to think that, I live a boring life. Like, what is my signature talk would be about?
So, it's interesting because a lot of people have this concern. There's a lot of people that have had crazy things happen in their lives, and then they say, "This is really traumatic. I don't wanna bring anybody down." There are ways for you to say, tell a story that is very sad and make it encouraging and empowering and inspirational. And for the people that say, I have nothing crazy happen to me, it's all really how you tell the story and finding those moments where something changed. Maybe it was a conversation with somebody. Maybe it was that moment. I have clients that say, I was breastfeeding my kid in the middle of the night, and then I had this insight. We all have had those moments. And yes, you can add a little bit of drama, you can add a little bit of suspense. I tell a story of coming to Disney World um, from Brazil for the first time, and then mixing up and not saying something right in English, which was something very simple. But the way I tell the story, it creates some suspense and it makes people laugh. But it wasn't a pivotal moment of, I climbed Mount Everest. It was just I was a child walking around Disney World, nothing crazy. But it's all in how you tell it and how you connect it with what is the point of me telling this story? It's to help you see that I know what I'm talking about, right? Or this is why I'm connected to this topic because of what happened to me. Everybody has something to, illustrate.
Yeah, so I guess what we have to learn to do is finding those stories, those moments, every
Mhm.
day, or maybe keeping a journal or having like an Excel or Google Doc and jotting down those memories, those ideas, because otherwise, I think we are waiting for that perfect,
Yes.
amazing story that will
Mhm.
never come because actually there are more stories in our days, but we don't
Yes.
see them.
Exactly. It's training yourself to see them. And this is what comedians do. So I think watching some stand up comedy can be helpful as well in other speakers because the more you see, the more examples you see, it's like you become a better writer if you read more. Well, then you need to start paying attention to people that are great storytellers because comedians do this all the time. They take a very mundane moment and they make a joke out of it. And this is a skill you train yourself. Or what do you think songwriters? Sometimes I see videos of people interviewing musicians and or singers. How do you come up with ideas? And they like, there's ideas everywhere. Sometimes I can't shut my brain off.
Yeah.
So they have a problem because they see music and stories everywhere. So it's all a matter of training yourself to see those moments.
Yes, I love this. This is something that I need to do more often. And Marta, I know that we don't have a lot of time left. Before we go, I would like you to tell us in regards to mindset, because I do believe this is so important. Do you have any advice for someone listening to shift their I can't do this to yes, I will be able to do this?
I think understanding that there will always be moments where you doubt yourself is helpful because at times we feel like it's going to go away. And it's not, especially as you start putting yourself in challenging situations, which I think that's another part of the exercise. Back to what I said, what's the next level of discomfort? We have to be seeking challenges because if you're not being challenged, you are not growing, you're not changing, you're just staying the same. And I think the whole reason for being in this world is to becoming a better version of who you are, especially if you have children or people that look up to you, to being a better person and a role model to others, you know? So choose to put yourself in hard situations and know that it was going to be scary, that you are going to second guess yourself. And then it is your job to reassure yourself and also surround yourself with people that will reassure you because there will be people that are going to doubt you, that are going to question you, and sometimes they have good intentions. Just like the example that I gave, somebody, calling me out for a typo. They sometimes they want to protect you, especially family, right? I don't want to see you fail. I don't want to see you disappointed. But then you have to really rise above that and surround yourself with people that encourage you to challenge yourself. And that's why, we network and we have coaches and mentors. So I would say understand that it's still going to be hard, but that's the beauty of it. This makes me think of a song that talks about, you got to be brave, you got to be bold, you got to be wiser. And then what in one of the lyrics, one of the pieces, she says, the best part is danger staring you in the face. Can you say that? But the best part is when you're feeling really scared, because that's when you know something's on the other side. So I think it's choosing that perspective.
Yeah, that's amazing. And tell us, how old is your podcast and where can we find you?
So it's 7.5 years old, gonna be
Oh
8
my
soon,
goodness.
which is crazy. Yeah, I have, I think, 416 episodes so far. So many guests from all over, all kinds of industries, and it's called The Empowered Woman. So if you Google it, it's in the top 0.5% of shows because it's been so long and, because of so many episodes, and I'm really proud of it. It's a show that's grown through the years, and I've had the amazing opportunity of meeting incredible people that I wouldn't have otherwise.
Yes. And tell us where we can find you.
Yeah, so if you Google Marta Spirk, you should be able to find me. I'm the only one out there as far as I know, but I'm on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. You can find me on my podcast, and also I have a YouTube channel, and my music is on Spotify.
Thank you so much, Marta. It was a real pleasure to chat with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tina. Always good to see you.